Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are now live from the KFVS Digital News Desk. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate your time. We are here today, Master Sergeant Joey Watson. He's with the Illinois State Police. He's the Public Information Officer. Joey, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How in the world are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time, and we
Happy to be here.
Appreciate it, and maybe I should call you Sergeant Watson. I don't know. Perhaps I don't know.
You're fine. You're
Sergeant
fine.
Watson. It's very casual around here. All respect to you, absolutely. It's no mean for any disrespect there.
I appreciate it, but all of my friends call me Joey, and you're welcome to do so.
All right. Well, we're looking then at crisis intervention training. That's something that the Illinois State Police, they're prioritizing. Can you tell us about what that's looked like up to this point, and what kind of process or change is being implemented with that now?
So back in 2021, as a part of the Safety Act, the Illinois governors signed the Safety Act into effect, and part of that was a component for this crisis intervention training. And so we rolled out a Train the Trainer course, and now we're starting to roll it out across the entire state this month.
All right, excellent. And so when it comes to prioritizing this sort of crisis intervention, what does that mean? What does that mean as far as equipping officers to respond to this as a particular issue to be aware of?
Well, the goals of the program are to help officers better understand the signs and symptoms of mental illness. It also helps them to resolve the crisis situation with a lower risk for both the party that's involved and the officers, and also to connect them with treatment on the backside. The training ensures that ISP officers have the tools to help safely manage these interactions, and again, to help them get that services afterward.
Certainly. One thing that came to mind in the process of, looking at this, reading about this, and getting ready today, was the thought of, we've had the news within, I think, the past year or so was when they made the change, that 988 number. Does that integrate into the system? Is that something that is part of the scheme of this, or what does that look like?
I'm not familiar with 988. This is a program that the Illinois State Police is rolling out.
Sure. Okay. Just a crisis prevention number there. Didn't know if that was something where that was a part of the referral.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but with all of that in mind, and with all of that as the focus of ISP, how does that look as far as like the local organizations, classes, things along those lines, as far as getting folks aware?
Right. We're rolling this out to the entire state police, and basically the training is going to include the signs and symptoms of mental illness, because as we all know, law enforcement aren't doctors, but we are the first responders, and so as the first people on scene, we need to be able to have the tools in our tool belt to recognize the signs and symptoms of a person that is suffering some sort of mental illness crisis, and how to recognize them, and then information. The training also includes information on how the laws and resources work, experiential learning from family members of individuals with mental illness. So there's families of people that have these symptoms in their family, and so they're there to help us understand those issues. There's verbal de-escalation training contained within the training itself, and we also have role playing. So they'll have actors get up there and interact with the police officers that are responding to these situations. And then we're connecting the individuals to crisis treatment on the backside. And so one of the components that's really important for us as well, not only just dealing with the public in these particular issues, but it also includes a heavily focused officer wellness component, which we're also a big fan of this training for, because obviously that's a high stress environment, and so it would be negligent for us to neglect the fact that this potentially could impact the officer in their mental health and mental wellness as well. So we want to make sure and develop a program that it looks at all facets of these situations.
All right. And so is this ongoing currently? Is this something that is coming up ahead as far as things go, or is there any specifics about the dates of these?
Yes, so about 50 officers have completed the 40-hour training already. There are 13 officers that have completed the additional 24-hour train the trainer course, and those officers are now delivering the training in a 40-hour format to all of the officers ISP-wide. So yes, we have gone through an initial round of training to see how, it's kind of a beta testing in essence, to see how the training interacts with our agency's policies and procedures and how we can implement it. And now that we've understood it better, now we're starting to roll it out to the field on a more wide scale, and that's happening this month.
All right. I imagine there's an element to this about the relationship between ISP and the citizens of Illinois when it comes to, knowing that they are able to respond to these sorts of situations. Is there an element of that in this?
Absolutely. We all have family. We all deal with situations differently. So how we interact as human beings is a huge component of the successful resolution of these events. I personally have dealt with one of these events up on I-64 a couple years back. And the training that we received in the academy is kind of the foundational stuff to this. So this is the next level stuff, the crisis intervention training that we've rolled out. But a lot of the components are similar. It's just not quite as structured. And so with that former training, one of the things that we were using up there is the de-escalation techniques, being able to talk in calm, rational voices, being able to sympathize and empathize with people so that they understand that you are truly there to help. I'm not there to just instantaneously take everyone to jail. I'm there to resolve this situation peacefully and make sure that everyone goes home as safely as possible, if that's how they so choose to react to us. Again, we're not there in all situations to just immediately take everyone to jail. Every situation is different, and how we interact with that situation as human beings changes on an individual basis. So for us, it's given us a set of tools in our tool belt to be able to effectively deal with those situations.
All right. Anything else that you feel bears mentioning? Maybe I didn't get to ask you about so far?
No, I think you've covered it quite well, but one of the things that I do want to mention is, with us being the first to respond to a mental health crisis, services, there are services across the country. And so if before you get to the situation, if you're a family member, before you get to the situation where you're interacting with law enforcement, seek out those resources. If you understand this about your loved one, be reaching out and having those conversations with healthcare providers and making sure that they have the treatment that they need to get those situations resolved. Because again, it's all about making sure that everyone stays safe. We have family that we want to go home to. They have family that they would like to go home to. And in the end of it, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can training-wise to make sure that that happens.
All right, absolutely. Master Sergeant Joey Watson, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great day.
All right, you too. And to our audience as well, appreciate you all being with us. It's great having you here, great having you for conversations like these. Stick around here, 4 o'clock. We'll be back here on the digital channel. Heartland News Now coming up right around the corner.